Testing, testing. Yo, 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 ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and everything in between. What's up, guys? This video, some poker content. Finally, some poker content. The poker boy finally does poker stuff. Yeah, we had some pretty cool stuff, by the way, over the weekend. The paintballing was awesome. Shout out to the people that came. But I'll talk about that in another video. This video is with a very lovely person. Genuinely a very kind person. I am doing some free one-on-one coaching for him because he offered to sit for my cats and then said he'd do it for free. Didn't want anything, didn't want any payment. Just did it out of the kindness of his own heart. And when I played with him at the Hippodrome Casino a couple of times, he was not only a hilarious person, like genuinely standout hilarious. Like I really just was so into his humor. He was just like a really good person, really humble person, and I like good and humble people. And here in the Epiphany Paradise, we're getting a good group of good and humble people together, and they're all rising up above. The creme rises to the top, as they say, and yeah, having a lot of success. So I'm teaching him. This is going to be me transitioning my coaching from cash games into sit and goes, but with also an added bonus of some live tips, live poker tips. Something that you won't get too much of is hearing coaches talk about the transitions from online to live, but using actual, real strategic examples. And it's what we do a lot of, and I really hope that people like this. Please leave me any notes if you want to hear more of certain stuff, less of certain stuff, because I am going to be doing another masterclass, a sit and go slash, I think just a sit and go masterclass, because I don't want people to jump into MTT straight away, but there'll be so much transferable cross-pollination of information that I think that will be extremely valuable for MTTs as well. No, sorry, the kitty's being so cute. Lickety, oh, lickety, oh, oh. I'm in love, absolutely in love. So yeah, I hope you enjoy, and leave any comments, any questions. Like the fucking video, guys. This is free content, absolutely free content. A lot of the content I'm doing isn't going to be free. It's going to be going on my website. Oh, she's stretching. So please just like the video. It's so like it. Anyway, I haven't eaten in a long time and I am very tired, so hope you can appreciate how much energy I've put into this, into the coaching session that I just finished as well. So anyway, peace guys, much love. One connected. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, perhaps of YouTube, perhaps of my site, and even more perhaps, and probably more likely nobody seeing, as I am a bit lower functioning than normal and I might not post this as content at all. We have in front of us a beautiful human being who I was privileged to meet in the Hippodrome. His name is Sam. He's one of the funniest people I've ever met, and that really stood out. And he's actually turns out to be a very kind person. And so in return for him offering to look after my cats whilst I was going on holiday, even though it didn't actually happen, I offered to give him some one-on-one coaching for an event that he's having, a live tournament sit and go ish, like a multi-table sit and go. It's not quite an MTT because there's not enough people. And the tournament, if I remember correctly, is you get like an entry if you win a hand with 5-6 suited.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
something like that.
Yeah,
and or you get a ticket to an entry, something like that. Anyway, some weird kooky hippodrome thing. And then
right, is that
Empire, right? Sorry, Empire. They're the exact same in my head. I know that one of them has the horrible, all the waitresses are walking around in corsets, which really I don't like at all. And then one of them isn't that one.
Yeah.
Which one's which?
Hippodrome. They're kind of corsets.
Yeah. Right. But anyway, you are then going to be battling against around like 25 other people.
Yeah, about that.
And first place gets a 10K package to an EPT.
No, it's the main event, WSOP main event.
WSOP main event?
Yeah.
Holy shit, dude. So next year?
Yeah.
Amazing. Do you get anything else with it?
You get flights and accommodation.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Flights from where though?
Hopefully London.
Yeah, I don't know. The Manchester ones are cheaper. They probably went from Manchester.
If it's Manchester, I'm not going.
Yeah, you don't want to have to even getting a train there is just not worth it.
No, thank you.
Um, so I in the meantime, between when he found out he was going to be playing and when he's actually going to be playing the tournament, I advised him to play some online sit and goes of the lowest stakes possible, or at least one of the lowest stakes possible. The reason for that is I thought that it would be a good replica of the kind of play that you're going to get within the Empire Casino. I think that the people that are going to be winning these kooky prizes and getting an entry to these tournaments, they're either going to be a reg that they'll probably be around the level of like a 10 and L cash game reg, probably like that online, if they're playing like 1-2. Or they would be a recreational player, in which case they'll be like a live recreational player, which is usually around the level of like a $1.50 single player or like a 2NL cash game player. No offense to the live people, but that's just how things seem to have panned out recently. And first of all, how has your experience been playing these online singos? Do you feel like there are some obvious comparisons you can make or differences you can see between live play and these online plays?
Well, I mean, I play live cash normally, and obviously that's a lot deeper. So I found it more restricting in terms of hands I can play, certainly hands I can call with. I'm a little bit more reticent to bluff just because of stack sizes. You know, I'm kind of scared to like triple barrel. I mean, obviously it depends.
You triple barrel, you're gonna just like min bet every street.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah. Yeah. Bet sizing is obviously a big difference. Sometimes I can just like see bet one big blind when it's quite shallow towards the end of a sit and go, and they're just like hints to fold or jam. But there's a lot of overplaying of hands from other players. So it's like what you told me at the beginning, really, just kind of like sit tight at the beginning. Stack preservation is the important thing.
Yeah, and just to clarify, if anyone does eventually listen to this, stack preservation in tournaments is the hugest thing, and especially in tournaments where you're better than other people. And the reason for that is that on average, when you play a tournament, if you're better than everyone, you're going to find a lot of situations where you're going to be making a lot of money. You're going to have an edge, pre-flop, post-flop, any flop. So that means you then need to be a lot more selective with the spots that you do take. If you have a whole platter of amazing spots that are going to come up, you don't want to start chewing on the kind of mediocre spots. And that is essentially stack preservation. It's waiting until you can put your chips in a better situation. Whereas with the cash game, obviously, you can just find something that's plus 0.001 chip EV, and you're like, fuck yeah, let's do it, man. Do it infinitely, and then we're going to be rich.
Yeah.
So that's going to be a huge difference. We're not going to be bluffing much on these stakes. People aren't playing a $1.50 tournament to fold. There will be a probably slight difference in the thing that you're playing. I imagine there will be some players that are there to fold. And I don't know. Is it winner takes all?
It's winner takes all. Yeah.
God, it's so brutal.
I know. Sometimes they apparently in the past for this, because they do it every month, they have offered like second and third prizes, but apparently there's not this month.
Okay, so I would guess that most people will still play relatively like snug, just because it's going to be like potentially very high stakes for them, at least at the end. You know, once they get to like the final 5 or 6 people, which is something that there shouldn't be any ICM pressure at all. There should be none. Yeah. But I imagine there actually will be quite a few spots of ICM pressure, like faux ICM pressure, where people are like, oh shit, I'm top 5. I don't want to bluff off my stack, or I don't want to defend 7-8 offsuit, you know, something like that. Whereas, you know, in actuality, they should just be playing to win. So there's zero ICM pressure whatsoever.
Yeah.
So another thing that you've mentioned already is the stack sizes. How are you, and how familiar are you with like opening ranges off short stacks and shoving ranges off short stacks and 3-bet shoving ranges off relatively short stacks?
When we have a short stack or against short stacks?
Either way.
Well, I assume the shorter they are behind us, then I guess tighter we should be.
Correct. That's actually something people tend not to realize, even at the higher stakes. It's like, if you have like 70 bigs and there's like 4 shove stacks ahead of you, first of all, don't open much because people will shove against the big stack more. Second of all, open smaller. And this is something I really haven't even noticed the other high rollers get. So this is like a little piece of information. It's like, if there is a spot where you're more likely to be shoved on, you want to be opening smaller because then you lose less when you do get shoved on. Even though that can give the big blinds better odds to call, it's like weighing up that how much you care about the big blind getting better odds, which incidentally is not something you care about too much of these stakes because people don't tend to have too much of a different defending range versus 2.01x or versus 2.5x.
Yeah.
And then weighing that up against the other thing that I said, which I've forgotten.
What about what about though if you've got say 4 people behind you, like in your example, and then 2 of them are short or 1 of them short, and then the other 2 are like 40 big blinds or whatever. So
yeah, it's very spot specific. There's actually a lot of variables that go into your opening sizes and your opening ranges, and it's not something that I believe that anyone's really quantified. Just because, especially when you're using that information and interacting with tournament dynamics where you have chip preservation, ICM, etc., it's not something that anything short of a supercomputer could quantify, especially in real time, because every situation is completely unique. So let's jump into, can you share your screen? Let's jump into one example of one tournament. We haven't looked through any of these hands. We've got a new replayer that hopefully is going to be legit. There are a couple things I don't like about this replayer, but we'll see how it goes.
Okay, shall I open it?
Yeah. Then I'm going to request I'm going to request remote control. Got it. We good?
It's seamless.
Amazing.
I believe so.
Okay, so now we're just going to flick through. And I will ask you some... Wait, we're going? Go.
Yeah.
Go. Why is it not going?
Oh, you're pressing the... Oh, right, you're trying to get to the next hand.
Yeah.
Try the other key, the back key. Yeah, on the left. Yeah.
Oh, we're going backwards through time? Okay, I get it.
We're at the bottom of the list of hands, so if we go up.
We're not playing this one. So this is what I don't like about the replayers, like we don't know which hands we're going to play. Do you open this?
I can't remember, but probably not.
No, would you open this normally?
So my ranges are cash game ranges. I don't know whether they should change for this for tournaments, but in cash I wouldn't play this not from mid position.
You play ace 10 off from the low jack.
Mm.
Damn, yeah, we're playing different games. When I played against you, I'd have been opening like ace 7 off from here, probably.
Yeah, you would, yeah.
But I mean, you would be able to make ace 10 off plus EV in like a cash game, for sure.
Yeah, it depends who's behind, definitely.
But I mean, I assume you're just going to be better than most people by
thank you.
significant amounts. So it's, yeah, I feel like you got to be opening this in a cash game. You also have to be opening this here. You can get away with folding it probably from under the gun and under the gun +1.
Yeah.
But these positions, people are just going to be playing so loose anyway. Like button's going to be like calling just like, I don't know, like ace 7 off, ace 5 suited, stuff like that, just because people are kind of sucky. You want to be playing big cards, you know, because you're going to be dominating people quite a lot, and you're relatively short stacks throughout the whole tournament. And you want to be playing relatively tight under the gun as well, just because you got a lot of hands to get through, and there are a lot of potentially spazzy people. So playing kind of loose from late position, but from middle position under the gun, just playing kind of big cards. But ace 10 off definitely hits it. Let's see if we play it. Oh my god, this is gonna be so sad. Okay, so even better with a limp.
Yeah.
You want to make like 80, you're just going to be dominating his range, or even like 100 on these states.
Yeah.
How many big blinds deep are you going to start in the Singo?
Quite a lot. I think about 300.
How many big blinds is everyone else going to have?
I think I mean, I don't know for sure, but from what I've kind of been told, although that can be confirmed, probably just over 100.
Right. So with this kind of spot, let's say we have ace queen off. If someone limped here two limpers. Okay, let's just pretend that it was just one limper. Say Lucky Punk and had just limped.
Yeah.
I would, if I had ace queen off in the sit and go you were about to play, I would probably make it like 7x.
Yeah.
Make it like 140, 160 maybe. And the reason for that is that people, if they have hands like 6-7 suited, pocket fours, they ain't folding to basically any size. So it's one of those spots where it's kind of like the bigger your hand, the bigger you want to go.
Yeah.
And you don't need to worry about balancing. You don't need to worry about any of this kind of stuff. Do you feel like when you're playing live, you balance your opening sizes and your 3-bet sizes?
Yeah. I think I'm pretty good with my sizes. I mean, I'll size up when there's a whale on the table if I'm targeting someone and I know they're going to call more. Like in an extreme example at 1-2 would be if there's a whale sat down and I'm under the gun, I'll open to like 25. Like that's been the most extreme case.
That's a good adjustment, and not many people do that. I noticed that. I was playing at the Monte Carlo 100K actually. There was a guy that was V-pipping like 90%. And everyone else was just like 2.2x, 2.2x. And I was like, oh, I got pocket nines, 8x. And everyone's like, what are you doing? I was like, that guy. What do you mean, what am I doing?
I'm trying to win.
Yeah, I'm trying to win money. It's great.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's good. You definitely don't need to be balancing too much. I'd say as an advice, a generic advice for people playing live is that balancing will come very intuitively. There's this kind of misnomer around the poker world that you need to balance a lot, and post flop is just ridiculous to balance almost always. Pre flop, it makes sense to balance if you don't want to be say you've just been like 3-betting 3x loads. If you then have aces, you don't want to suddenly 3-bet 4x, but you just want to 3-bet 3x because you don't want people to be like, oh, he's got aces. But if you have king 7 suited, maybe you do want to 3-bet 4x if you think that they're going to read that as weaker.
All right.
So with something like ace 10 off here, I would probably lean towards making it like, let's say just this guy's limped, Lucky Punk has limped, then I'd probably lean towards making like 80, maybe 60, 65, something like that. Something isn't going to look super weak, that might just isolate him. And you'll have to have some kind of intuition, which you probably will have when you're playing these live sitting goes about what their limping range is.
Yeah.
Do you think people are bad enough that they might be limping like ace 5 off in that spot?
Some people, yeah, definitely.
Good.
Definitely.
Good.
One thing which I think may happen in this tournament is that certainly with the shorter stacks, even though they have over 100 bigs to start with, I think there might be a mentality at the start for people who are like, I'm probably not going to win this thing. I'm just going to jam.
Really?
Yeah, like there's a cash race at Hippodrome as well. It's for a different prize, obviously. And I know some people who played it I didn't qualify for it, but some of the others that qualified for it, there were stories of people just like blindly jamming like from the start, just so they can punt off and then carry on and go play cash.
Oh.
So
do you think people just don't take it that seriously just because it's unlikely that they'll win?
Maybe because there's just one prize and they're like, oh, this guy's got 300 bigs or they've got 200 bigs. I've only got 100. And it starts at 6 p.m. on a Sunday. I wonder if like even that will play a part. Like they've got work the next day. I don't know. Like they don't want to be here too long. So I guess that's even more reason to tighten up.
It's a very unique dynamic.
Yeah.
Definitely tighten up, but then also you kind of want to find those spots where you want to really be thinking about what kind of hands you're going to be calling with. So let's say, for instance, they jam and they have, let's say, ace, jack, ace, queen, or ace, king. What kind of hands are you going to be calling with?
So if they're jamming what, like 100 bigs,
Yep.
we've got 300, and we're say big blind. Probably like, I mean, and they have what? And are they also shoving pairs, or are you saying those specific?
No, let's say we just think they have ace jack, ace queen, or ace king. Hypothetical.
Well, then any pair, I guess.
No.
No. Did I say any pair?
So let's say we have deuces, for instance, and we have like 50% versus their maybe 51%. We don't want to be taking that spot like for a third of our stack in a situation where we probably have ridiculous ROI in this tournament. I'm not going to try and guess what your ROI is because it's so fucking hard with everyone having different stack sizes and also not knowing how good everyone is. But it's going to be very significant in comparison to the expected value of each individual stack or your 300 big blind stack, assuming you didn't have any edge. So you have to be pretty selective. Okay. I would probably start around like, I think tens have like 57%. That seems like a good borderline hand, the one that I'm kind of not sure about if you want to take it.
Okay.
So if you were down to 100 bigs and you were offered a 57% equity flip, and they were shoving 100 bigs, I'll probably say no. Probably just leave it. Probably start taking it around like 63, 65.
Oh, you frozen.
Oh, okay. Hello.
Oh.
Hello.
You froze there. Yeah. If you said if you got oh no.
Oh no.
You said if you got 100 bigs and you're offered 57% flip.
Yeah. Then just say no. And I would say you'd start wanting to take it around like 63 to 65%, assuming that you're way better than these other people. Okay. And this is going to be something that's very hard to practice because working this out and actually quantifying it would be not worth either of our time. But it's just something to keep in mind that when your EV is so big, you don't want to be taking these spots. You don't want to be, fucking set mining for a bunch of chips. You just want to be playing real snug.
Okay. Fight another day, basically.
Fight another day. So this guy is like min plus 3-bet. Generally, it's because they're probably not a very good player. Then they should have a really wide range. But sometimes it's only aces, which is unfortunate.
I don't like how I play this hand.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's not too bad.
I mean, I just don't like it.
I would probably lean towards calling because I'm probably just calling whatever river apart from like an ace king, maybe a queen. Usually when people are betting on that boards, they are just bluffing after they 3-bet because they tend to just have like king queen or something. They're just like, I will keep betting because bet, and that's kind of their thought process. Yeah. Whereas if they do have aces, they're like, oh god, he might have a straight.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I mean, shoving seems fine.
I just thought like I'm only getting called by better, and then I'm folding out his bluffs.
I wouldn't put it past him to call with flush draws there for sure. Look out for part 2 coming tomorrow.